Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is ILEANA from Phoenix on the Rise, a company that helps women empower themselves by leading them and mentoring them to connect with their higher selves. I've decided to do a new series of videos called Conversations with Courageous Women. And I'm doing this because I want to encourage everyone who's watching this to not play small and really empower themselves to live more meaningful and deeper lives filled with richness and variety and some other very cool things. So the lady I'm interviewing today is Simona Mango. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her story. I met Simona back in 2015 when I was looking to relocate to Spain, and we've been good friends ever since. So the theme today is actually overcoming fear and worthlessness despite childhood conditioning. So we'll talk to Simona a little bit about how she's done that. But first, a little bit of background of her. She did a number of different things. She was a translator and interpreter. She speaks five languages fluently. She's lived in 3 countries and traveled extensively throughout Europe and Japan. She's done art restoration, decoration, and stained glass, working with artists. And then she got into singing. Singing was always her passion, and she became a professional opera singer. And then she began something else, which I'm going to actually let her talk about a little bit more, her latest thing. So welcome, Simona. So glad to have you here.
Thank you, Ilana. I'm so happy and honored, I must say, to be here today. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So why don't we talk a little bit about your family? Tell me a little bit about how things were when you were growing up, what your parents
talk about families.
Yeah, it all starts there, right?
Yeah, for good and for bad. Yeah, you know, like I think most women in the West, I can speak for the West only, but when you're born as a girl in the West, the way you're brought up, the conditioning, I find is very, very tough. You are made to believe that you are, you know, not really that much of a great thing. You're a pretty girl, you're nice, you're kind, and oh, you're so talented. But this is sounds a bit like shallow words, and they make you feel in many, many ways. And I'm not only talking about your parents, I'm talking about everyone you interact with in school and everyone, that you are really, not that smart, not that intelligent, not that good, not that clever, not that important.
And that's not where your value is anyway.
No, I mean, you're nothing special. And whenever something a bit special comes out, that's when they say, well, you shouldn't be focusing on that. You should be focusing on the stuff where you're not that special. So for some reason, it's true, isn't it? Family and school and the whole educational system and everything always tries to hold you never in your place of excellence. They want to hold you in your place of lack, in your place of not being enough. So you have to struggle and you have to make up for what's missing, because you're always lacking and missing and short, and and the parts where you're excellent, of course, but no, let's talk about what's missing. No, let's not. Let's talk about what's great.
Yeah, I think a lot of our audience can actually relate to this for sure.
I would have thought so. I've seen that everywhere. I'm a double national from 2 very different countries. I'm half Swiss. That's a German northern kind of vision. And I'm half Italian from the south. That's a really Mediterranean with Arabic influence. It's a really, really different culture. But no matter the underlying kind of feeling about all of that, I found to be exactly the same. And then I've come to know other cultures. I've come to know French culture really, really well. I've come to know the British culture really well, and others, in between. And it's the same everywhere. I think. Yes. I think as a girl, as a woman, as a little girl, and up until your whole life as a woman, you are made to believe, if you believe them, that you're not worth much. So
and really to be in a box, right? That's where you belong, not to try and do some amazing, really cool, fantastic things, because that's not
no,
what you're meant for, right?
you can't do that anyway. And even if you could, it's not, you do what we say, because we know what's best for you. We love
Right.
you and we know what's good for you. And
so how did you react to all that? How did you react to that messaging?
Well, at the beginning, I mean, all of my childhood and my early youth, I succumbed to it. I was really crushed by it. I was feeling horrible. I was feeling ugly and stupid, and all the cliches, like you're not enough and you're not worth it and you're not clever and you're not smart and all of it. I mean, name it, I had it, all of it. And so always this underlying not fear, conviction of just not being the real thing, of just being some kind of a second category human that will never make it to to the heights of being a happy and fulfilled human.
And yet, despite all that, you went on and did some amazing things. How did this start up in you? How did it occur?
I don't know why. I never felt like I had some guidance or anything. It was just, I called it my taste. I called it my own will. I don't know. I was just never, but not because I wanted to be rebellious. When they wanted something for me that I liked, I went for it happily. But then when they were trying to shape my life according to their dreams and to what they hadn't been allowed to do by their parents, and now they were trying to do the same with me. So when it didn't coincide with my vision of my life, then I simply said nope. It's not easy. It creates a lot of friction. It creates a lot of tension. It creates a lot of misery on both sides. But hey.
I mean, I've noticed a lot of parents try to steer, especially their daughters, in a safe path, right? You have to get like just a normal job, and you have to get this particular education, and you have to follow this path so that you're safe. It's always about safety and not taking risks and not really endangering yourself in any way. And I think a lot of that messaging is kind of like meant from a good place. But unfortunately, it really is very limiting. Like you're always feeling like you're running a bit up against the wall.
They want to protect you, but then what they do is they fill you with fears.
Yes.
And so they tell you that everything is unsafe and all of that, and the world is big and bad and all of that. In my case, I don't think they try to attract me to that with safety. It was more with the pride of, I come from a family of academics. And so it's like, we are the kind of people who, we are professors, we are this and that. And I was never impressed with any of that. I knew all of these professors, not only my parents and more of my family, but the people they would deal with. And I was just not impressed. Like, okay, I don't care how many books you swallowed. Where's your heart? Where's your, you can swallow as many books as you want. No, I was never impressed with that. So that's why I was, I dropped out of school, I dropped out of all of that because I tried and I thought, like, that's absolutely not what I want. So no, so not really.
So it sounds like there was this dichotomy going on. They were telling you you're not really great at anything, so don't bother. But we're very, we're arrogant in our, we're professors and academia. So very mixed messages, right?
Does that make sense?
No,
it doesn't to me. So you're not worth much, but you're going to be a great doctor. Wait a second. How does that work?
Such mixed messaging. Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
I'm really sure about that. So yeah, they wanted me to be, my mother, who's a Germanist, wanted me to be some literature professor or God knows what. And my father, who wanted to become a doctor when he was young, but then he wasn't allowed, and he became an economist first. And then he had to make up, and he did his medicine degree at age 50.
Wow.
And all of that. And he has still this thing that you have to be able to become a doctor. Yes, but I don't want to be a doctor. You wanted to be a doctor and you've done it. Congratulations. But I don't want to be a doctor. yes, you're going to be a doctor. No, I'm not. This kind of stuff. It's just projections and
Yes.
trying to give you what they didn't have. But I
Yeah.
don't want what you wanted. I want something
Yeah.
else. I might, but sorry, you haven't been lucky.
Yeah. And then you just started to explore different things, and you just started to
Yeah.
follow where your intuition was leading you.
That, luckily enough, was always my my feminine energy, the feminine side of me. Of course, we both have both. We have the masculine in us, and it's very handy. I mean, we need it sometimes. But what they wanted from me was to completely set aside the feminine part, because anything feminine was bad anyway. What's good is, that's the message I got. And even from my mother, who was a woman, and but the message I got was always, when she was talking about women, it was, oh, that silly cow, oh, that silly chicken, oh, that. Wow. And then when it's men were the ones. And I was like, are you a silly chicken yourself? Or why are you the white goose now? What's different about you? And so everything that was always pushed and always rewarded was the masculine energy. Bring home the grades, do the points, do the things, measurable. This is
Hi, everyone. We're back. So we had a little bit of a problem with our technology, but now we're back resuming the interview. So apologies for that. Stuff always happens. Simona had said to me something interesting when we were talking about this interview. She said that you don't have to believe what you're told. So those messages that you're given, you don't have to actually absorb them and believe them. And I'm exactly as she was. I had some very negative messaging in my childhood, but I was at the point where I thought, well, this is my mother's opinion. It doesn't mean it's real for me. It doesn't have to define me. And I think that's a really important distinction to make, right, Simona?
Absolutely. And when you're a child, of course, you just believe whatever comes is truth. You don't discern. Up until 7 or 8, you just absorb everything, and that's the problem. Then those things get ingrained in your ways of thinking, of behaving, in your brain, and you keep going with them. So some people just get eaten up in that, and that's where they're stuck forever. This is a very, very bad place to be, because if no one ever tells you that it doesn't have to be this way, you might not come out of it yourself. Someone needs to tell you, hey, wait, this is nonsense. They've been lying to you.
Yeah.
So I always had this feeling that it's true what they say, that I'm not good, I'm not this and that and that. But then I always had this feeling that this can't all be true, because if they were right, if they were really, really right, then they would be happy. They would have it all sorted. They will have it all figured out. They would, everything would be great. But I saw exactly that their lives were miserable. So that's when I thought, no, they don't have the solution. They're not speaking the truth. I'm not saying they're lying to me willingly, of course not, but I think they don't know better. So I wasn't convinced with their vision of the world. It must be flawed. If you're that unhappy, it can't be true. And so since I always had this thing, just that's how I was born. I think we're here to be happy. We need to be happy. You're not here to be miserable. And as a kid, sometimes when I was really sad and everything was terrible, and I thought, like, if only I could not exist. I never had suicidal thoughts or any of that. I never thought I'm going to kill myself. I never had that. But often I would think it would be so lovely if I didn't exist.
Right.
And then I had this answer come back at me from within myself. I don't know. I wasn't able to, which was saying, but that this is not possible. And then I was saying, well, if I could be in a different place, if I could be a different person, I was fantasizing. And then the same answering voice, I don't know, came back to me, always saying, it would be the same. It would be the same. And I always got this message that you are where you are, and and that's okay. And now make the most of it. It was only intuitive. It wasn't even spoken. It was just a feeling. I wouldn't articulate, oh, if only I could be, it was just like this wish not to exist, and this answer coming back, it's not possible. You do exist. You have to exist. You're here to exist.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was this positive thing about it, like, stop complaining. And I was like, what is that? I had no
I would say that
explanation.
would be your higher self talking to you at that point in a language you could understand at the time as a child, right?
Yeah, exactly. I know now, but then I was just like, what's that? But then that really put me on the track of saying, okay, it's obviously not that. Well, let's start looking.
Right.
And so I decided, and that was early youth, that was like in my teens. And that's when I decided that, okay, I don't want to be what I am. I don't like it. I want to be different. And then I said, okay, how do I want to be? And I made my mental image of how I wanted to be. And then I said, okay, I am being this now. If I am not able to do it now, I'll pretend. And I'll just be who I want to be. And I launched myself into things that scared the living light out of me, like taking up a theater project and going on stage.
That's amazing.
I wanted to kill myself. I was so scared. But I just kicked myself. Instead of killing myself, I kicked myself, and I just did it. And this piece we were doing was absolutely not my kind of taste, not my kind of thing. I didn't care. I just went for it. I just did it. And I had my heart racing. My face was red. My hands were cold. Everything was all over the place. But I did it. And it
What
also...
a victory. What a victory, right?
I didn't know if I had that in me. I said, what have I got to lose? I'm going to do it. And this also involved at the show coming in from the back through the audience, singing. Singing was another thing I was so scared of. And I had to look like a crazy woman who is storming a show and is singing her own thing. And it was some loony religious anthem. It was because that was some kind of a churchy old lady. And it was like really ridiculous. I was taking this role.
That's very brave.
It was completely crazy. And I said, just shut up and do it. And that's what I did. That kind of stuff. And
what did you learn from that? That it's okay. You don't die. You live another day and you learn something, right?
Oh, yes. And after you've done it, you say, if I've done that, I can do more. Another thing I did when I was 15, I took the money for the groceries and I bought a train ticket. And I just went to another city, and there were no cell phones. There was nothing at all. I just went to another city, booked myself into a pension, slept there a night, and came back on the train the following day. No, I slept 2 nights. My family was
just so you could see if you could do it.
Yes, and I could. I did it. Okay, it was not my own earned money. It was money from the groceries. But, I knew I was going to get through. I wasn't starving my sister or anything. So I calculated that and I did it. And I was so scared, being on my own, a 2-hour train ride to a city I've never been to. And where people were speaking French. I was good at French, okay, but I had never been in a French speaking, I was just learning in school and I was good, but I never been to a French speaking part of the world. So I just took the train, went there, spent 2 days, went to museums. Then I didn't know better. I went to McDonald's and I was too embarrassed to sit on my own and eat. So I did takeaway and I got back to my pension. But I was 15. I was doing all of that on my own.
So you started taking little risks and building on that until you built things.
And of course, my parents were freaking. They always told me that you can't go anywhere on your own because it's dangerous. You can't go and you can't do. And then there's those men who will lurk and who will. And I just did it. And you know what? I'm still here. I didn't get raped. I didn't get killed. I didn't get, do it. Do it.
That's awesome. That is such amazing advice.
I've done so many of these things because I just said, okay, I've got enough. I've got to break loose out of this prison. I was like that, and I had to break out of it. Otherwise I'll just live in fear and I won't do anything. I don't want to do things. So let's get started. Let's get doing them.
And it's through these things that you started to discover who you were and what you enjoy doing and how you wanted to slowly build your life. And, many lives don't start, with a clear trajectory. Like there are some people who know, I want to do this for the rest of my life. They start here, they work their way and they get there. For many of us, myself included, right? like that. You try this, you try that, you learn things from it, you develop as a person, you grow, and then you do something else. So that's the really encouraging thing, that there is no set path. Everyone has their own path and they lead it how they need to. That's
and if you're here, it's for a reason. You set yourself a task when you came to this planet. So, keep going, enjoy it. Because
and the road to get there may be quite meandering, but that's okay.
And enjoy the trip. When they say it's in the trip, it's in the journey, it's not. It's so true, and it's not easy to understand. But when you get to understand that every moment, like everything is wrong. Yes, but this moment is this moment, and now everything is wrong. In a couple of moments later, everything might be completely different. Let's live this moment, think, okay, this is what I don't like, what do I want, and let's work towards that. And every moment will take you to a next moment. The problem is if you're trapped in the same moment all of your life, then if you're trapped in the same place all of your life, then
and you never take those risks, you never try anything.
Yes, because they, you know what they do with elephants, right? We all have this image of the elephant being stuck to a tiny little pole.
Yes,
that's what they do with us. The small elephant can't break loose from the pole, and it's learned that this pole is stronger than it is. And then when it's a huge grown-up elephant who weighs tons and tons and tons and could make the pole fall over with his tail, he's still attached to it because he thinks he can't break loose. And that's exactly what happens to us. And then when the elephant says, what that? No, that's not holding me back. No way. And
so that's that's a very good way of putting it, because many of us get stuck in thinking that way, and the neural pathways, of course, get stronger and stronger as we get.
The thing, they become highways, motorways, and after that, you can't see. Sometimes you just have to tread on fresh grass and start designing your first path, and then the grass will come up again, and the day after you won't see the path again because the grass has gone straight again, and then you have to walk over it again, and after a few weeks you start seeing where the grass is going smaller and not growing back that well. And if you keep doing that, you can build another motorway there, and the other one will be covered in thorns. But that takes a long time for that big motorway that's lit and has gas stations and everything. It will take some time for it to have holes in the tarmac and be overgrown with thorns, and it will take some time for this meadow to have a path that you can see by moonlight.
And that is your path.
So
that's beautiful. And I really, everything you say, I've lived through and I've done, and I totally understand. And this is why I'm doing this, because I want other women to know that there is a way out. And
exactly.
Sure.
All women need to know that. I'm sure many of us kind of feel it, but we don't know. We're not sure. It's kind of feeling, and then you say, "Well, it must be this silly feeling,"
And you don't know how to get there.
And you don't know what to do. And no, it's we've got to do that. We've got to come out, and we've got to live our lives, and we've got to. So
this is, of course, why I started this company, so I could help women do that. That's my dream, right? Because when we all live to that level, I mean, we actually change the world by the way we are being, right? So tell us a little bit about getting to being professional opera singer. And she's very good, by the way, because I've seen Simona perform a number of times. And then what you're doing right now, which is something else and also very exciting.
So becoming an opera singer was, kind of a dream. And you think I can never do that, But as a kid, I was always listening to operas and singing along with all roles, male, female, high, low. I would just sing along, And then very late, when I was 25, I started taking singing lessons. And after about 4 years, my teacher said, well, it's decision time. Either you keep doing your silly, your dirty things, she was calling them, because I was in painting and stuff. So I always came up with, ink under my nails and stuff. And she would call my dirty things. And then she said, either you sing or you do those dirty things. It's decision time. So I decided, I've never looked back. So I did that late, and I started taking lessons when people start performing on stage. So I was about almost a decade late with everything I've done in my life.
So the lesson here is, it's never too late.
It's never too late. Absolutely, it's never too late. Never. And that's I've been a professional opera singer for the last 20 years. And it's picking up again. I got a concert in about 2 months. Awesome. Yay! Oh God, it's been a crazy time. Yeah. And my other big thing you were referring to is, I studied food, nutrition, and natural health also for the last 20 years, at least, even more. But in a more organized manner for the last almost 20 years now. And last year I made a diploma as a nutrition coach. I'm accredited and recognized, so I can officially take on. I've been taking on nutrition coaching clients all my life, but friends and family, experimenting on them with good results. And now I can really take clients, and it's really nice because, of course, that goes really well with opera as well. As you might know from all the cliches, opera singers are the ones who need a nutrition coach the most. So they are, of course, my primary audience, but not only. I love working with anyone who wants to reset their body, to really get their health back. It could be many things. It could be small ailments. It could be just sense of not being well. It could be underweight, overweight. It can be skin complaints. It can be so many things that they are happy to cure with expensive drugs and treatments and stuff, but that actually the cure is out there in nature. The cure is in the foods we eat and in the plants and herbs that Mother Nature gives us. She knows what's good for us. So
and we'll have more information in the text that's going to be posted with this video.
All right.
So everyone can get more information about that. And now you have a very different life. I know you have a beautiful house in the countryside in the south of Spain with a lovely husband, 4 dogs, 2 kitties. How many orchard trees do you have? How many trees in your orchard?
75, I think.
Did I leave anything out?
Oh, it's we moved to the countryside about 3.5 years ago. I've always been living in cities. I would never go back to a city, never ever. Much as I love them, the bigger the more I love them. One of my favorites is Tokyo, 14 million inhabitants. That's the kind of stuff I like. Big theaters, big cinemas, a bit big everything. But no, I think I'm pretty much.
You found your way, and you found your place. You found your little corner of paradise, right?
Yeah, this is a lovely corner, but I found my real home, which I always knew to be nature. But I was just attracted. The life I was living, it was great. I enjoyed it, but I just come home to nature. This is a gorgeous place, but it could be somewhere else. It could be, but I know from now on it's going to be in nature. I know that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's also that time in our lives. I feel the same way.
That as well, but it's really that coming home where I'm under the trees and I say, okay, this is my house, this is my home. I'm under the sky, I'm under the
well, that's fabulous. I'm looking forward to coming back for a visit one of these days.
I can't wait.
As a final wrap up, what is your biggest message to women out there right now?
It's these are incredible times. And I really believe that as women, we have a big task now. I think it's mostly, some men are doing great, but it's mostly up to us now to bring the big changes in the world that are needed. This is a moment of big change. It's a moment of profound change. and things can still tip either way. I'm a believer in you know, positive and good outcomes, and I haven't lost faith in humanity, not at all. Many people have, and this is sad. And I want to rekindle that. I want my message is look, we are parts here. We are all working on the same project. We are parts of, can I say, of the divine? We are parts of the divine.
Yeah.
We are part of the universe. We are a big, important part of the universe, and we are cells of this big body that's the universe. And as you know, just a couple of cells can destroy a body, and a small amount of cells switching around can change so many things. And women, we are considered a minority. We have International Women's Day. What on earth is that? Are we a tiny sect? Are we 20,000 individuals with? No, we are more than half the population of the world.
For sure.
And we are the more heart-centered half of the population of the world. We are the part that's more connected. I mean, men are exactly as divine and as everything as we are, only they are by the way they're treated, by the way they are further away from it. We are still a little bit more connected to it. That's why we also have all these insights and these, and I think we have the power, and this is the moment where we have to develop this power, and we have to really be aware of what we can do and find the courage. And that's why I think that conversations like these, where someone says, you know what, I believe that I couldn't do anything, but you know what, I can, and so can you. We all can. We are all more or less trapped in mental prisons, but we are all parts of the divine. And what exactly can't a god or a goddess do? What can't they do? Nothing. They can do everything. So we are gods and goddesses who are told that they're ants. You know, it's like some scary movie where they make you, some psycho thriller where they make you believe you are something that you are not. But if you're told what you are and you think, oh really? Wait a minute.
So you can grow definitely beyond all of that and take the risk and make something happen.
You can really understand that that's in other people's eyes. That's what their glasses are tinted like. That's not you. If I put on green glasses, I'll see you green and you're not green. That's my glasses.
Nobody can define you.
Pink glasses and you're pink all of a sudden. You haven't changed. My glasses have changed. So, you know, they can tell you that you are whatever they want. They can tell you that you are nothing, but you are still a part of God. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. You have to know that you are, because you are. You really, really are. Whoever you are, you are. If you're a human being, you are a big part of God, a big part of the divinity of the universe.
Yeah. And you're connected to your higher self, which is always having that connection. You never incarnate.
They are trying to pull the plug so you can't communicate. You know, like we were interrupted suddenly. Our conversation got cut. Yeah. And our conversations with ourselves, with our higher selves, get cut, get interrupted by all of that stuff we were talking about earlier, from all that conditioning, from all that stuff they shove down our brains when we're small. Yeah. And then, you know, sometimes we get a tiny little bit of wire left and we can use that and sometimes there's none of that and you need someone who will come and replug your wires. Have you plug your wires replugged or you know, strengthen them if they're there, because
which is what we're doing in these conversations.
Exactly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Simona. I really appreciate it. We will be back. I will be back with another session soon with some other extraordinary, courageous women. Thank you so much for watching. And remember the message, never play small. There's a wonderful, huge thing that you can do out there that is only something that you can do. And that's what we're encouraging. All the best, everyone. Thanks, Simona. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, ILEANA. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.